This video is not about Russia, but it's a very interesting introduction, I would say. And it's a very weird thing how Trump's administration attracts people who are just very scared of Russia, first of all. Like, very humbled and respecting Russia and all that crap, basically. And spiritually, Russians are strong people, but only spiritually. They live in a higher difficulty setting, but that also means if they're born and bred in Russia and have been there their whole lives, they have never been able to actually achieve anything substantial. And it is actually now a very good suggestion to not even think that a Russian nuclear missiles even work. They just have rotten over 60 years of existence. And there's nothing actually scary that Russia can do to the rest of the world without getting obliterated and removed from, the world map. The biggest country is risking itself to get removed from the world map. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. So, when it comes to like levels of difficulty on the map, and you would actually realize that China is even fucking weaker than Russia, by the way, if we're talking about levels of difficulty, because every Chinese person is like following rules, and right now, what's happening in South Korea is actually pretty revealing of the rest of the Asian world, and I consider this Asia. This is just firelands, by the way, and a lot of weird conflict is going on all over this place, right? Where's the fucking Israel? Where is it? I can't even see it. It's over here, by the way. So yeah, you have firelands, you have the Asian lands, apparently, and you have Australia. Australia is fucking scary, increasingly more scary because it introduces itself through, first of all, kangaroos, basically boxers on steroids, the animal boxers. Fucking, you see their muscles, like, holy these things are insane. How did you bred the kangaroos? What happened? Australia? How did you spawn that animal into existence? There's a whole history of question marks. But yeah, Australia is level 5 in difficulty, and that place fucking filled with demons, I imagine. Like, it's close to African difficulty without the excess heat. The excess heat is what makes Africa exist. And somehow, South Africans have bred Elon Musk, Belle Delphine, Pokimane. People who are incredibly fucking influential and rich at this point can just suck the resources out of the rest of the world. Like, one of the most powerful people come from South Africa, apparently. Just what the fuck just happened at this point? And they're white. So there's plenty of space for white people to just coexist and not get burned into a crispy. The world is pretty weird. And Russia being the biggest country, again, is just a spiritual, what is it? Hedgehog, I would say. A hedgehog is not a very strong creature, but like, it has pretty good defenses. Because it can puff itself up a little bit as well. Or Russia's known as a bear country. They're not scared of anything, but at the same time, that can be a detriment because they don't have tools to fight everyone. It would be crazy. So I want to see what Tucker is on to. And it is weird. Like, it's weird to take sides. It's always weird because, like, yes, Russia as a country is weak, but it has strong people and has pretty dangerous people, I would say. Just like South Africans have billionaires waiting to fucking conquer the world at this point. Damn. Can't wait until we'll meet the first Antarctican level 7 fucking difficulty creatures. Yeah, I discovered this like difficulty map and I'm like, wow, this actually makes also too much sense. Europe is difficulty 2. It's like segregated in a bunch of fucking tiny countries and a bunch of languages, and nobody really likes each other, but like it's cool. We're like cool with each other, and we make inventions, and we're smart, but we're assholes at the same time. And we have to have a bunch of stop signs all over the place, like stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing this, stop electing the fucking corrupted government, UK, please stop doing that. What the fuck happened? What are you gonna do now? You know, just like a bunch of stop signs are required to stop people from destroying themselves. Like Sweden was able to avoid COVID, was not able to avoid immigration, has been fucking corrupted by that so quickly. Holy corrupt, and I mean corrupted, basically. If a story comes out where a police officer is fucking having sexual activities with criminals, I mean, whoops. I think the world is upside down in Sweden all the time. So you just never know what they will dodge and what they will get sucked into. You just never know, man. So all over the place, there's a lot of things going on. And even in America, life could be hard, but it's actually the easiest life in America. You have one language to learn, right? You're social with everyone. Everyone is trying to be nice. You have celebrities, which means the thing that you're kind of aiming towards is like an easy job, just acting and whatnot. Just talking to people. That's what people aim for, and that means that you can actually kind of tangle yourself into that mess and still make money, still have successful life. You don't have to become actually famous to be successful. It's a very weird distinction that I have to make. Because people really see famous people and they know that they're successful, but that's not the full story. Success comes from just finding a lifestyle that just makes you happy forever. Sounds pretty good, right? So what is Tucker yapping about? Because again, individuals, like these are very strong individuals. The Trump formation are full of strong individuals. I think Trump recognizes Elon Musk being from South Africa, right? As just a foreign person who's just so influential, it could take over the world and could just, be bitter that like Africa has been attacked by some foreign nation or just America as a whole. Like he could be angry and you could just like have bad intentions hidden somewhere, ruining our lives. But for now, we have to kick Putin in the balls is what's going on here. Anyone who is propagating some kind of war and doesn't want to let go of the red buttons and all that shit and constantly makes threats, that's a bully, basically. We have to fucking beat that asshole up, basically. Like, what the fuck is going on? Don't you recognize the bully? And all these fucking right-wingers just like kind of accidentally can side with the bully. Like that is the most ridiculous thing that could happen. We're going to talk about South Korea, though. And I will need to repurpose this context. Fuck off, man. What the fuck? I just want a map. Map. Bro. Assholes. Fucking Africans. You can tell. Anyways. So South Korea is over here, right? It's basically trying to border China, but it's not allowed. It's like there's a military actual contract going on where North Korea is actually blocking South Korea from mainlanding China. There's a good reason for that. But all of this is gut feeling coming from me. Like everything that's an island bordering China, what's happening here is these are public sector islands. You can see South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan are public sector to the rest of the world. In fact, it's always going to happen where Taiwan is under attack, South Korea is under attack right now. This martial law is just a warning sign that South Korea is not going to be forever safe. There's something's going to be brewing. Japan is just always under attack by itself and fucking hurricanes and fucking volcanoes, maybe even. I don't know. There's a ring of volcanoes around here. There's something would be happening, and just snow. Just snow attacks Japan. Just natural disasters would make you feel like this is not a good place to live. I'm not sure if Japan is ever going to be under attack, but if it got nuked twice, I mean, it is a very weird place to be. I mean, it's almost like America would be jealous or resentful of Japan somehow. But yeah, what I would do is I would take a cruise ship to just pick up a bunch of people from here and just bring it to like lower difficulty places, because it's always going to be like under some kind of like a hidden threat, just like Taiwan is a threat of just causing fucking world wars. Just pick up some people and fucking take them at this point, because China is just increasingly more aggressive toward these like islands that they have. In one way or the other, like they actually side with North Korea on this war, and just like it's a very shitty place in that sense that you can actually send people into Russia. It's just weird, man. This whole thing is like very well crafted. You must understand, and it is very confusing. Like China actually boasts to be a very advanced place, like technologically, but I say it's difficulty for in lifestyle. Not only they have a physical feature, the Asians have physical feature of just narrow eyes. That is, it's not exactly a very good feature to have, but just overall the Wind Nation. I love saying that, the Wind Nation. They lie to each other constantly. There's no real truth that you can actually learn in China. The only thing you can do is just like learn technology is what it is. So if there's no real truth, there's no real social connections that you can make in that sense, which is another reason to just cruise ship and collect all the people that you like, basically, because they're actually not socially connected to much at all, I would imagine. It's just very interesting stuff like that you learn. And we're going to dive deeper into Chinese culture because it's very interesting. Like, why is this level 4 difficulty? But at the same time, it's like it's also more difficult than Russia. To live in Russia is pretty simple, actually. Is the only problem is you're always going to be under attack. It's the funny thing. You're always going to be under attack. That's what Russia is. It's just a very aggressive country of anyone trying to take advantage of you all the time. So that's what Russia is just generally known for, and that's what they're doing with all the countries that try to take advantage of them all the time. And we have to defend ourselves all the time from Russia. Is just like a never-ending storyline, which is why Putin always, or in the interview with Tucker, because we're back, you know. Well, you want another interview? You're going to be able to actually handle Putin's will to just summon a history book lesson. The reason why Putin likes history so much is because if you look at the Russians' history, they are constantly aggressive. It's pretty fucking obvious at this point. And that's all you have to do. Just look into the history of Russia. Just that shit has to click. Like Putin is actually literally just bullying Tucker at this point. Hey, Tucker, does it click? We're aggressive people. We take advantage of you, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm drunk. I drunk vodka, bro. That's Putin right there. He's just asking Tucker to understand and punch him in the face. That's what it is. But he didn't. Tucker got taken advantage of. Fucking bitch.
Russia and kill.
No, don't send missiles and kill people. That's not what war is about. War is about submissive behavior,
At least
boy.
a dozen Russian soldiers.
Boy.
So we are
Soldiers. They are designed for what exactly? What is Russia trying to do with these soldiers exactly? I have a problem understanding, you know.
unbeknownst to most Americans, in a
What are you crying about?
hot war
Fucking weirdo.
with Russia that most Americans don't want, but
You did not vote for war. whoever is the aggressor is the one voting for war all the time. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? These people just keep on fucking twisting their brains to like imagine some kind of fucking war as a contract between two countries. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. There's an aggressor and there are defenders. There's no fucking magical fairy dust that can actually change that narrative. That's what war is. It's just provoked by some fucking pile of pieces of shit. War is just a bully spawned in your school and is just pushing you around and trying to take advantage of you, basically. Jesus Christ, man. To be so oblivious, like, I can't believe, like, this is the biggest problem with Trump supporting group, Trump siding group. Like, they actually have this blind spot that no one in the world can actually believe, I imagine. Whoever is an outsider of all of this, like, no one can believe that this is the blind spot you have. You can actually not see what makes up war, what are the alchemical ingredients of war. There's a fucking bully. They probably actually in their brains they have that evil doesn't exist. And that is the stupidest fucking thing, is like scariest thing actually. And we have to like do something about it. Like, how do we actually prove that evil exists? Or at least contain their behavior from letting evil eat food or some bullshit like that, right? These are insane people. These very scary people. You know, when you realize, like, okay, we go from left to right, but shit, there's a downside. There's a clear downside. They will never accept that evil exists. I think that's what it is. Holy shit. Could you imagine what we will have to deal with? It's like, evil doesn't exist. Except for lefties. Lefties are evil because they're not educated enough and they do stupid things, and that's kind of evil, right? But people who just declare war, that they're not evil. I don't know why they do it, but they're not evil. But you know, soldiers died. How about that? How about that? You didn't vote for that. It's fucking crazy, man. This guy's fucking crazy now.
Because of that war.
Like, literally, he was mentally stable when he first been in Moscow and made this fucking thing. I probably had nothing to counter this, but now it sounds just fucking crazy.
Because of the fact that the U.S. military
is crazy that, like, oh no, America is involved against this Russian fucking threat. Okay, and is China gonna get involved as well? Because I want to see China burn, technically. Like, burn China. It's a bunch of ants. No, seriously, again, like, just like, would you be scared, like, Australia declared war on some fucking country? Like, would you be scared? I mean, go fuck yourself, Australia. Get the fuck out of here. So the same goes, like, China is not a scary threat. Russia's not a scary threat. Obviously, if the United Powers, I mean, all of a sudden, we're talking about something else entirely. But there's no unity between losers. All right, you're not gonna find that. And I'm not tempting anything to happen. It's just they have such fucking messed up languages. The deeper you go into difficulty, like, the language barrier gets fucking crazy. Incredible to see Africans just fucking flicking their tongues like as trying to say a fucking word that way, but they also lighting a fucking match at the same time with their mouths. Like, I probably can't even fucking click into the microphone. The African language, it's insane. It's just no, I don't. Imagine all these sounds that you can make with your mouth and just like, oh, let's add it into a language. That's African language right there. The deeper you go into difficulty, the more shittier the language. But yeah, getting delusional is so easy. So fucking easy,
killing
apparently.
Russians. We are closer to nuclear war
than any time before. Well, let Russia show their nuclear weapons at this point,
At
for
any
fuck's sake,
time
man.
in history.
We haven't seen any of them for a very long time. And for such a long time, in fact, that we should actually consider that being a propaganda piece more than actual reality, that nuclear weapons actually exist and they're the scariest thing in the universe and all that shit and the radiation. Like, there's so much science usually, and I don't trust science anymore, but there's so much science about nuclear weapons, but the nuclear weapons have to be, like, really tested. Like, really tested. If we want to actually, scientifically detect all the information, the radiation belts. Wow. The shock wave. Well, okay. Crazy. Obviously, like, regular explosions don't make radiation, but the nuclear explosions do make radiation? That's interesting. What is radiation? Even radiation got debunked as like, oh, that's heat. Heat is radiation, actually. Oh, okay. That's it, right? There's game over now. There's nuclear power plants and all that shit. And there's a lot of things to actually learn about the world, but man, there's a lot of fucking propaganda, and politics is also going to be like leaning onto propaganda because that's the easiest power you can get. Where do you get power? Lying to people. I am a fucking giant human being that like, I can crush human beings with my foot. Like, I just got infinite amount of power just because you believe this lie, you know? You probably don't believe that I'm a fucking giant human being that's like Hulk and I can destroy buildings and all that shit. But if you believed it, I would have plenty of power to manipulate you and intimidate you, basically, because you would think I would crush you. You know, if I come close to you, I'll fucking destroy your house or something, and nobody can stop me because I'm fucking Hulk. Like, if you believed government lies, you would actually submit to just infinite imaginary power that they project onto other people. So this whole thing is, again, they just don't see evil. That's why they believe in space travel. They don't see evil. Like, actually, Elon Musk is a liar and a fucking crazy liar, and he's just blatant liar. Yeah, 0.5% of the time. Like, he wants to be believable, obviously, Elon Musk, but they don't understand that Elon Musk could be evil, and it really I think makes Elon Musk happy of like, yes, I can hide a little bit of evil, and a little bit of evil can go a long way. Like, these Trump supporters, man, fucking hell. I hate to actually recognize that they have such a blind spot that I will never be able to respect them, basically. It's insane to me.
Far
And the fact that governments can be evil and they can lie. They can just blatantly lie about having nuclear weapons and all this shit. Like, naturally, the world always normalizes itself, and war is sort of a natural disaster, basically. It's a natural disaster of a lot of suicidal people coming to a group, picking up some weapons, and attacking a country. That's a natural disaster still. It's not man-made or anything. A lot of people have to operate weapons in order to contract war in the first place. It's a very much contractual but natural disaster because understanding war, you have to be mentally ill to actually participate in that thing. On both sides, by the way. That's the thing. And Ukrainians have voted for war because they want to defend their country. They don't want to just give it up. But at the same time, they're just obligated to do it as well. They kind of just contracted in that. Nobody would actually participate in that shit. Fuck Ukraine, I would say, and just be in a faraway land with unicorns and rainbows at that point. If I'm a smart person, just no, leave me alone, bro. But, the government will also propagate, draft you into war, no matter what, will lie to you. Just, you have the worst consequences of all time. You're going to go to prison if you're Ukraine. Something, they will come up with something, bro, to drag Ukrainians into war. And a lot of Ukrainians also, feel pride in just fighting war. And I say, if you feel pride, at least fucking beat up Russia as hard as you can. because, there's no real way out at that point. It's weird, but the world is so complex, and I'm like untangling all these things, and it's a pretty beautiful sight, you know.
Are closer
To the point where I'm YouTube CEO. Please subscribe. Please subscribe and support my channel. I need
than we
friends.
were during the world. There's nobody.
We thought this will not escalate. Yeah, oh my god, it's so stupid. We thought this will not escalate, but they're escalating. They're aggravating Russia. They're attacking the bully, and the bully will strike back all the time. No, the moment you stand up to a bully and you have enough power, just you fucking kick the shit out of the bully. Like, for fuck's sake, that's what you do. And you set up defenses that when the bully is launching nuclear weapons, because that's what all bullies try to do. Fucking, who shoot up schools, man? A bunch of weak pieces of shit shoot up schools. They're not bullies. That's the real nuclear weapons. You know? The school shooters. They're not bullies. They have been bullied on. The nuclear weapons will only be sent by the people who have been most hurt in life. That's where you have to look at it. You literally almost lost Donald Trump to a fucking retard. That's a school shooter, basically, but decided to actually attack a president. And you still cannot fucking do the math calculations, basically, that those are the people with nuclear weapons. The people who have been hurt. Not the people in power at all. Not the people who have the power to be bullies in the first place. Give me a break.
Tony Blinken, the current U.S.
And people would not put two and two together because they don't think that everything is just pure knowledge. The fact that you can actually talk about Russia as a bully and you can simplify things, people wouldn't actually believe that. It's very convenient because, but it's parallel information. It's just like scaled up version. What do you believe then? How do you make logical conclusions then if you don't believe this? I don't know. I don't talk to these people. I don't want to be a bully to Tucker and his intelligence because at this point I can barely find a person who's smart enough, to entertain me at this point. It's kind of crazy, to be honest.
And Russian government. And there hasn't been for more than 2 years. That's shocking.
Yeah, it's shocking. Like, why am I not becoming more popular? Why am I not getting more friends? What if I'm the smartest person in the world? Can we double check that? How do we check that? It's so scary. Like, it's almost like it's doomed to happen. Like, the smartest person in the world is actually never going to be acknowledged for being the smartest person in the world. Why? Because no one is smart enough to acknowledge the smartest person in the world. Like, that's just not possible. Who is smart enough? Like, people have to collect intelligence and work together to be smart enough to match the smartest person in the world. It takes 100 people, the chess masters, to beat the biggest chess master because you can play by the fairness of the board and still beat 100 grandmasters playing at the same time. It's kind of fucking crazy, but smartest person in the world is very difficult to detect in actuality. Like, over a game board, yes, he's just gonna have the highest ranking, but in reality, you would think it's just like the richest person, but no, that can't be right. The richest person cannot be the smartest person because he's the richest person. He already gets all the benefits of being the richest person. So who's the smartest person in the world? I would urge you guys to figure that out. Figure out what the logical solution to finding the smartest person in the world is, because I'm concerned that I am already, that I have defeated everyone already. I'm just, 30 years old and I can be est of something, best at something. And that's shocking, guys.
Okay. Cannot do the interview.
Yeah. Lefty's always gonna fucking put up 3 stop signs without actually explaining anything. Fuck you, lefties. You just made things worse. You just embolden these people like Tucker to believe whatever they want to believe. And the biggest belief that you can possibly have is that evil does not exist. Holy shit. To the point where Tucker is so fucking bold, he's actually gonna come up to the bully and spit into his face. I mean, he can just shoot you, though. You would die, disappear from existence. There would be no Tucker Carlson. There's only one in the world like that. And every single time he's just like, let me risk my life. I'm fucking stupid little bitch. Let me risk my life. That's what it is right now. That's what I'm looking at. You can do it one time, but fucking do it 2 times? Jesus. I almost like wanting him to die at this point. Just a good lesson to learn at this point. Holy shit. I think this is a good equation for smartest person in the world. I did nothing wrong, but I have everyone afraid. No one wants to socialize. No one wants to talk to me. Test my intelligence. I mean, I will see their future and how they die or something. Whoops. It's pretty scary, I guess. No woman would want to spend time with me because I'm so smart I can actually spend time with myself. You know, I'm not desperate for women. This is what it is. This is a very good definition of finding the smartest person. Just like, I make everyone afraid. I can create incredible fears without the need of nuclear weapons because I just know what everything is, you know, and how to put things together, a snowman just for you that will haunt your fucking dreams forever. You know, create a horror film just for you personally. It's crazy.
You can talk to CNN. You can't conflict between Russia and the United States.
Yes, some president conflict where Russia disappears.
Is there any way to appeal?
The sphere of China. Yeah. I pick China over Europe when Moscow is over here. Why pick China, though? Because whatever Russia is doing will always hurt Europeans. European is a higher difficulty place. And Russia, like, okay, I hurt Europeans, but China's a good friend. And they hug this little, you know, nerdy guy that they can abuse all the time, you know? There are people who are comfortable being with bullies because they're so fucking scared of being bullied, so might as well just join in. But China's actually scared of Russia in that sense. Like, they just side with Russia because they're scared. That's it. That's what's going on. It's like, oh, nuclear weapons? Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. What's going on, man? He can beat me up. Like, yeah, let's attack these Western losers. That's what it is. It's still just bully psychology, bro.
Does that election of Donald Trump mean an end to this war, which is...
All right, so if I'm smartest person in the world, I should be able to answer his question. But I don't necessarily know what Donald Trump is and what his power level actually is in stopping the war. The war will stop when all the bullies are just scared to death, basically, and realize, or just get killed, I don't know. There's some extent to, like, which you just have to stop them at anything it takes. Like, a bully would go to jail in that sense, a school bully, but this one, what? Is he also going to go to jail? Interrogation section? Something like that? If you can just capture Putin for us, that would be nice. Just put handcuffs and just peel him off the country, that would be nice. That would solve the war a little bit faster. All these aggressors have to go get captured or killed. It's just, that's it. You can't... I think Donald Trump is just stupid saying that he can end the war in a fucking flick of his fingers at this point. Get out of here, Donald Trump. Like, Trump is only strong as his country is strong. All right? And he cannot project strength by itself. That's why people don't like Donald Trump on purpose. On purpose to teach him a lesson that he can get isolated and he will not be strong, you know? He can get shot by a bullet and there's no strength in that. because he stands alone sometimes. This freak that can end the war in just one day. Like, get out of here. But that's a promise. That's a way to boost his reputation. He really needed that. And it actually goes the opposite way. I think it goes the opposite way, actually. Yeah. It's just another way of thinking to yourself, evil does not exist. I'll just kind of call Putin and hey, dude, stop war. But I will threaten you. But I will do bad things to you. Wah, wah, and the war doesn't stop. That's it. Just crazy. I know, but it's just like that's what the world that we live in. Donald Trump does not have the power to stop the war. He can only make it bigger so it ends faster. You can only make the natural disaster bigger because let's say the reason why tornadoes come to existence and swirl around because it has to move this air over here. So if we make tornado faster and bigger, the air is going to move faster into this location where it's supposed to go, right? So the same goes with war, with another natural disaster war. You can make the war bigger, and then it will end faster. If Donald Trump wants to end the war in one day, then nuclear weapons, that's the nuclear threat, actually. That's the actual nuclear threat, saying that you can end the war in one day. That's what it is. That's the nuclear threat. There's no other way to fucking explain that. That's the translation of the language. That Donald Trump does not speak English, but he definitely speaks nuclear for sure. That's just logically the conclusion, actually. And I would be scared if that's way too correct. I'm often correct. 99% of the time. That 1% of the time is, corrections have to be made, and it's not for you to worry about. But yeah, that one's scary, bro.
Reshaping the world's planet is that.
1% of the time I'm gonna be wrong because I predicted the purge to be like severe, but I predict things to be severe so they solve more problems and do it faster. I predict severe things, and purge was not severe, but it was very crippling in my life. And it's almost like, what? I'm learning lessons. I'm not the problem. Fuck. Purges. Put your ass. Anyways, so that 1% problem is like, yes, you can actually see the world of just full of destruction, and you can see Tucker's death, basically. But it's that 1% where I'm wrong is just exaggerating. I will always exaggerate things a little bit too much, but they are generally true, right? I can see the general direction of things. That's what it means to be a smart person, is to know your downsides. So to be smartest in the world, like, you can pinpoint the direction where it's north all the time, but you just don't know how long that direction is. You cannot measure that. You just know the direction, and that's it. And the best thing to do is just maximize. You maximize that direction in which you're looking at and say, this is what's going to happen. The maximum is going to happen. So unfortunately, as a fortune teller, I would always tell you, you will be the most famous in the world, and then you will die. And I will give you the maximum versions of yourself all the time. I give it to myself all the time, so it's fair. I tell myself I'm going to be the best in the world. Like, I can't stop myself from doing that. I just have to believe it. I just have to believe it. That's how you also have to operate. You have to believe in the extremes often enough to be able to even just have a healthy brain. It's crazy, but that's what it is. But whenever you have to pick up a center because of the risks involved, you pick up a center. You go extreme center on a situation that's like a risky situation, right? Pick extreme centers, pick extremes all the time, because it's a lot easier for your brain to comprehend extremes than to comprehend the fucking measured amounts of something to actually pinpoint what's going to happen. Like, you can't do that. You're not allowed to predict the future in actuality. You can only predict the direction, and I love that idea. So hopefully Tucker gets punched in the face instead of dying, but bad things should happen to him just so we learn a lesson at this point.
Possible.
What the fuck does he want in Russia at this point?
We just walked out of that interview. It's absolutely fact. It's coming very
Interview with who? You like
soon.
Putin now?
Watch.
Whatever. Bravo! Bravo for not dying yet. Craziness. And and anyone who would try to tell that evil exists would become evil. You know, hey, evil exists. Hey, what are you saying? What are you saying? What are you trying to say to me? And they would just beat you up for trying to, like, confront them about evil existing. That is so crazy. It's like, you know that Elon Musk is evil, though, right? What are you trying to say? Is Elon Musk is my best friend. I will beat you up right now. No, Elon Musk is evil. He wouldn't be fucking billionaire if he wasn't evil. You know? He would just humble himself down a little bit. I imagine. Something like that. Well, he wouldn't go for space travel, is what I'm saying. I think space makes people evil. I think science makes people evil if they dig too fucking deep into that grave. There's a lot of things that would make people evil. But mostly lies would make people evil. Some brave acts would make people evil. Anyways, there's news from Korea, by the way. So the martial law, let's hear it, guys. Full story. And I'll tell you what I think about it. And Tucker was just merely a fucking advertisement that it pissed me off very hard.
Okay, what's happening in South Korea right now is absolutely insane. So the president, pretty much out of nowhere, right as everyone was trying to go to bed, he gives a unannounced...
What is martial law? Required to MMA? Crazy, right? Let me put it this way. Martial probably means very, very serious. You know, MMA is a situation where martial arts, right? Very serious arts is just straight up fighting, basically. So in this case, martial law is a very serious law. It's a law put in place to where you have to be not doing anything fucking stupid right now because you're gonna get fucked in the ass by law. By very serious law that will beat you up, basically. That's what it is. I think it's pretty simple to understand what martial law is. And martial law involves military to enforce the law. Not police, military to enforce the law. So the law has to be even more like straightforward, and it's like you cannot do this, or military will fucking shoot you down or some bullshit like that. It's pretty nasty, but right now I think South Korea is going through a phase of like being very, very scared for their lives because China is getting closer to them. China is getting to them. You know, they're drilling operation at this point into their bases and mindsets and all that shit, and that's what it is. This North Korean threat. This is not North Korean threat. North Korea cannot pose any threat whatsoever to any fucking country. North Korea is put in place as like the dumbest place in the world, I think. But it's deception. The dumbest place in the world is a hybrid way to dumb down China in a way for South Korea. So South Korea feels emboldened to do whatever it's doing. But China will always have influence on South Korea and will always corrupt South Korea over time. And South Korea always has to do something about that and react to something like that. And again, I just give us the K-pop stars. I'll send you a ship and give them mine. If you're under a threat, okay, just I bought it. Wrong. Well, imaginary boat. Probably will sink like Titanic.
Live televised address, and he says...
So, yeah, it's very interesting, actually. I think that the history of Korea is also interesting, so let me pull that up right now. History of Korea, because they split. So I'm actually gonna read. I've never done that before, but it's about time to do reading. You guys have to subscribe at this point, and you watch it to the point where I'm actually gonna read. It's fucking crazy, dude. Bro, it's never been done before by a human being. Japanese invasions of Korea. What the fuck is going on? Coup d'etat is it's literally Naruto at this point. What's going? Korean Empire came into existence for just merely 13 years. Really? Korea became a Japanese colony, basically. Yeah, fucking Japanese, bro. Took over with their culture. Definitely not war, did they? Failed to agree on formation on single government and split in 1948, right? Or let's say 1950, right? Yeah, there's Russian interest in that North Korea thing as well. It's like a very connected, very weird mix of things going on here, to the point where even like American influence comes to play over here. Just crazy place, isn't it? Korean War, unify, of course. Under common, yeah, fuck you, bro. North Korea, immediately war. Immediate war. And it just never got reunified. Cool. So yeah, all I wanted to tell you guys is that this is a recent development of existence of North Korea. I mean, of Korea split thing, whatever. It's still very complicated to understand what the fuck was Korea beforehand. But it's not hard to see that bullies are actually weaker than the, the way South Korea looks like. It's fucking legit masterpiece. That probably doesn't belong there and always going to be under attack, It's kind of nasty, but I think right now this conflict is going to embolden, at very least, like the bullies to, tempt their luck again. It's like martial law. What's that? I want to attack. You use military against your own citizens. I want to attack. Meh. Yeah, it feels like all of these are layers. This is definitely a layer I would put here, and as you still have South Korea pretty much. Whatever the fuck this is. I don't know, I think I'm done reading. I don't care about this. Culture and society, okay, let's see. Morality, ethics, yeah, all the good stuff, am I right? Another way to know what the smartest person, or to become a smartest person, come on, let's put it that way. That will also scare stupid people if you don't take their advice. It would scare them because they want to manipulate. They just can't help themselves. They can't actually control the situation without manipulation. That's what it is. Subscribe or I will not give you a cookie, said Mr. Beast. Yeah, I think Japanese attack was just fake. Just to test Korean strength, basically. A lot of wars you can imagine are just fake. To the point where I thought Ukrainian war was fake just to test the new technologies. And technically that's what it is. It's a mix of a lot of things. Because we can spread information far and wide. Ukrainian war is a lot of things for sure. Continue, Dylan.
For the first time since 1980. I mean, do you know how freaking serious martial law is? It is the temporary rule of the country by the military in a time of emergency. You can be arrested without a warrant. All parliamentary activity banned. And even the media is under the martial law command. And why he called it in the first...
Yes, insane freeze event, by the way. Because people are just frozen in fear, like it's a real thing. All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you know? But it's not out of nowhere. People have to like dig very deep to figure it out what's going on. Or there's a surface level explanation that some kind of time is ticking, you know, the tick is talking, unfortunately. And they have to, you know, again, still, there's a test, or you can run. I think that's a very simple thing, right? Either you pass the test and figure out what the fuck your country's doing, or you better just back off at this point. You don't have to physically run. You can always, you know, mentally run at the moment opportunity presents itself and other people are starting to evacuate or something. But yeah, something's big going on, and maybe I don't know. Maybe North Korea is actually expecting as well. Like we sent troops to Ukraine for Russia, so Russia should send troops to North Korea to attack South Korea. You know, it's going to be fun. And now it's a big threat because South Korea being at level 4 and Russia actually threatening South Korea, then we have World War III. If South Korea gets attacked, this is when we have World War III. Not when a lower country attacks a higher country and that we just defend ourselves, but when a lower country attacks the higher country, that's World War III right there. When the aggressor is higher level, basically. So if Russia actually pulls back and goes against South Korea, it's gonna be fucking brutality. Holy shit, man. So just the threat of that happening is it's a domino effect, I think. The North Korean troops going into Ukraine is a domino effect of this. I think it's very connectable.
Even stranger, he vaguely said it was to protect the country from North Korea and to eliminate anti-state elements.
This could have just been one of those things where it just clicks into his brain of like, we have to purge Korea. We just have to purge all the people who are somewhat pro-North Korean, just because if the war happens, any pro-North Korean people are going to be such a liability to actually have in the country. These people have to be captured, basically. And put in jail. Just stopped. Heavily stopped from operating. This is basically preparation of war. And that one is the scary one. The Ukraine war is not scary. But this one is the scary one. And the scary one is always the one that people don't even want to think about, I think. Don't even see coming. Those are the scary ones, man. And that's the K-pop drama, boys. The K-pop drama. This is what the video was about. You didn't fucking notice? The K-pop drama is about falling in love with South Korea so as many people get saved from this massacre potential. I'm not gonna claim that until it's happening, but we want them to be safe, right?
To say that this shocked not only South Korea, but the entire world would be an understatement. And after this address, not only are you seeing helicopters flying around the place, you see military vehicles in the streets, protests breaking out, but the army went to the parliament to stop political activity. But they couldn't stop all of them. One lawmaker said that they had to freaking jump the fence to get in. How is this?
It's one of those suck it up moments, like president was able to call martial law just to see what happens and see how parliament just going to be resisting and all that bullshit. I think the president is like smart enough to outsmart everyone else in that sense. I think that's what's going on. And I think military also just kind of feels compelled by the president more than the parliament. And it's going to be an interesting situation for sure. But the K-pop drama is about, again, falling in love with South Korean culture and attempting to preserve it spiritually support them as much as possible, tell them that they matter, because in the time of war, of any war whatsoever, is the depression that will kill them, not the missiles. It's depression, is staying in one place, not caring about yourself, not feeling the warning signs. That's the shit that will kill you, basically. It's it's mostly a spiritual battle, you know? You get all the warning signs from the universe that things are getting worse and worse and something's gonna fucking blow up. And this is definitely one of those, warning signs for the entire country right now. And I didn't thought that my drama is gonna be that fucking serious and just like click a button. Here it is. K-pop drama, guys. That's what it is. And again, I exaggerate, and I really hope that ain't no real thing. All right, the World War III is not gonna happen outside of Europe. Okay, only we can invent world wars. What the fuck, man? All right, all hail Hitler for inventing world wars, but we can contain it in Europe. But shit, man, don't make it happen anywhere else. Technically, you could say that World War happened when Japan was nuked. Like, that was pretty crazy, but there was no retaliation. And this could happen again, unfortunately. So we would lose a culture in that sense. And again, Korean culture is just pretty fresh off the boat. And I think a lot of people like it. So let's keep it alive. It's what it is, like Korean culture is too good to be true, and that's what it is. Because it's a lot of pressure to live a life in Korea, like sleepless nights, basically. It's work non-stop to be able to keep up. Like they had to work their asses off, and we have to appreciate that they did that, But their energies are going, and sanity is going low, and they definitely on the brink of getting attacked, basically. It's crazy.
It's real life. So 190 out of the total 300 MPs were able to get...
Yeah, these people are trying to play chess against the president, basically, what's going on.
Cast a vote. And every single one, 190 to 0, voted to block martial law. And so legally at this point, what that should mean...
Okay. They didn't want it. They just didn't want it to take that vaccine in that sense,
The president
what I mean?
now lifted. But he hasn't yet. In fact, he said it's been complete silence since he gave his first address. So the latest is that the military is saying it's not over.
So yeah, it's a very weird situation, absolutely. So it is what it is. Like, it's very interesting. You see government in full fraction, basically, in full of its glory, because when someone says something, the military has to decide individually what to believe in, right? Do you side with the parliament or do you side with the president? They have to actually make a very strategic move. Like, everyone is working overtime right now. It's next level work schedule, boys. But the actual people of Korea get to rest. The nightlife is actually turned off by force. South Koreans have a nightlife where they actually, at night, they're just as active as in daytime. So right now it's actually force shut. It's a dark light on them, basically. It's a meme on TikTok. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but yeah, like, the lights are off at this point. They used to have a nightlife, and now it's martial law instead. So there's two purposes to martial law: to alert the country that there's going to be sudden changes, to activate the military to see if the parliament is submissive or not at all, which is kind of fucking ridiculous, because they just go through military just as if it's butter or something to try and stop it, when they could have just, found a morning. How about that? Or was it impossible? I think martial law is like usually a nighttime thing, because it's anti-conspiracy sort of a move, right? You try to not let people conspire against you the government should not operate at nighttime. Basically, when you're sleeping, that's the whole point, right? If I'm sleeping, I don't want people to conspire of like put poison all over everywhere. I touch my fucking mouse, keyboard to fucking die from poison. Like, I don't want that shit to happen. When I sleep, I want things to be like calm and under control, pretty much. So that's what martial law is actually usually about, I think, is the best definition.
Over until the president says so, but they won't prevent any parliamentary activity. It's kind of just a formality at this point. So no one really knows what to think. Everyone's a bit confused.
I know.
You, freaking insane. And it's about 5, 6 a.m. there now, so it's gonna be a crazy day of updates.
I know what to think. And I thank you guys for your attention. See you guys next time. K-pop drama, bitch.